Hello and welcome back to Baking with Jen. Today, well, I'm Jen and we're here to practice making different baking and pastry recipes that I've tried making before. So today I am trying the infamous Dragon's Beard candy. I've heard that you could make it in the microwave, and I found a couple of recipes that let you make it in the microwave, but those all took like chewy candy, like a Starburst or a High Chew or something like that, and you just kind of melted those down. So we're not gonna get to do that, which that's sad. But we will do it in a pot on the stove because it is 90 degrees outside. And it's like 80 degrees inside. And I don't want the 90 degrees outside to be inside. Yes, we have an air conditioner, but we don't feel like paying $900 for electricity. So we're gonna make this on the stove, less heat, and this actually, for the most part, is you're technically supposed to pull it. You don't pull it, but we'll get there. Also, there's supposed to be a cooling time for this. I forgot about that. So we'll see if I decide to burn my hands off today. Let's see about that. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna need is a saucepan. So we're in a saucepan on the stove, and then we'll get this started. Let me get the camera turned around so that we can actually look at this effectively without yeah, see, I was gonna make it in the microwave, but everything I'm reading, all the recipes I'm finding, they all say stove. And the ones I did find with microwave, they said chewy candy. So we're not gonna do just a little saucepan. All right, so it's not the recipe. I was just looking at. I'm on Dragon Beard candy. Okay, so this is gonna be Red Thread Kitchen. Let's see if it'll show the redthreadkitchen.com. Dragon's Beard candy. That is what we are looking at doing today. We're not gonna make a filling. We're just gonna make the candy. So for the candy itself, we need the 2 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of corn syrup, 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar, and 1 cup of water. Now for this one, I am definitely going to measure out the vinegar excuse me, because I've been told that it is very important to get the amount of vinegar in this correct. So let's start with weighing everything out. The stove's not on yet, so we're just going to weigh it right here. So it starts with 2 cups of sugar. Now I have to open a brand new bag of sugar because I forgot to after the last time. I was originally going to make cookies today, but after it's been 90 here, like over 90 for the last couple of days, and I was really not in the mood for heating up the house a lot while it's 90 out. And so I'm like, let's try to make something that's gonna be um, more hot weather friendly. So overall, Dragon's Beard candy is basically hand-pulled cotton candy. So this is going to be a mess. This measuring and cooking part, not a mess. The pulling and all of that stuff, that will be a mess. Okay, so in general, I have that 1 cup of sugar is 200 grams. And you know what? Now I want to double check on that because um, sugar by grams. Um, cup 1 cup of sugar, 200 grams. We had just over 400 grams of sugar. Whew, there we go. Let's see. We check the corn syrup real quick, just because. Corn is why are you here? Okay, so we need 1/4 cup of corn syrup. So this is interesting. Okay, so this is what I got for this. Gram of 1 cup of corn syrup, 328. So calculator, 328 divided by 4, 82. So we're looking for 82 grams of corn syrup. See if we can get this without going over. What is that game where you're supposed to guess like the number without going over or something like that? I know they do that with weight and stuff. Okay, so we're 60 something, 75, so 81, 82, 83. Okay, whew, we got that really, really close. I'm excited about that. Okay, so now this says half a teaspoon of vinegar. So like I said, I'm going to actually measure this out the way that it says because this is actually something that will mess it up by having too much vinegar. So we're not going to do that. Hopefully. So half a teaspoon. And I have a huge jug here, so it's going to be kind of hard not to just pour it everywhere. Half a teaspoon. That's just a little bit. So anyway, there we go. Half a teaspoon of vinegar. Taken care of. Okay, I think we're just about to the end of our necessary ingredients. And then 1 cup of water. We will do that here in just a moment. If we have the water. I'm going to add a little bit of orange flavor just because. Am I measuring the orange flavor? No, I'm not. The orange flavor isn't going to have bearing on the chemical. It's just going to add a little bit of flavor to the end product. And also, part of the whole reason I'm doing that part is because I got some edible luster dust, and so I want to see what it'll do with this. If this is going to make it all pretty, I want to try it out. So I'm going to sprinkle. Okay, maybe you gotta take the lid off in order to get more than like a teeny tiny sprinkle. It's also brand new, and a lot of times when things like this, like powders, they like some area to move. And so if they don't have any room to move, then they just don't, they just won't move. It's like, I only have a little bit of room, so I'm just gonna stay right here. I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so we have that luster dust, and then I'm going to do 1 drop, well, let's do 2 drops of red, and then let's do like 4 drops of yellow, just to see what it does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have lots of drops. Let me get a cup. I am going to use a measuring cup, and then we're going to weigh it out and see what happens. Lately, when I've been measuring out my liquids by weight, for some reason it just hasn't been like everything's been too wet. So let's see. Let's see, 247, and that was just over a cup. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna put this on the heat, and I'm just kind of putting this on kind of medium low heat right now. So I am excited that you can see the luster dust kind of floating on top. It looks kind of like gold. I think it's gonna be super cool. All right. Since we're gonna be boiling sugar, I could use a plastic spatula. But I'm gonna use a wooden spoon for this, just because I don't want it to be too like I can scrape down the sides, but I don't have one that would be harsh enough to fully do what I'm wanting to do, I'm thinking. So, alright. So this is going to need to melt. Do we have to bring this up to a temperature? Mix, scrape down sides, silicone spatula, no sugar crystals. Position so you see temperature. Now just wait, don't stir, resist the urge. Okay, so we're gonna make this out. So this looks nice. It's got a good orange color. It's a little on the red side, which that's fine. But I can see the luster dust in it. It looks really pretty. And so we just need this to boil. Let's bring the thermometer out just in case. But medium saucepan, medium to medium high. Add the ingredients, mix and scrape down the sides. Try not to leave any sugar crystals. Insert, leave a candy thermometer into position to temperature the candy. And we just have to leave it. This is one of those things like making a caramel. If you do it, if you stir it, then it'll introduce crystals and then it can caramelize the whole thing. We don't want that. So right now, actually that's what I'm kind of reading the recipe at the same time as talking to you guys. So don't leave any sugar crystals inside. Just wait, don't stir, resist the urge. Seed crystals once the temperature gets to 267 or 2 to 268. That's a very specific temperature. Hardball stage, turn off the heat immediately. Remove from pot and burner. Take about 20 to 30 minutes. Don't walk away when it gets close. If sugar gets too hot, it will become more brittle and break when you try to stretch it. Very frustrating. Okay. The temperature continue to rise a couple of degrees, and it'll stop in about half an hour. The temperature reaches 212. Pour the mixture into plastic containers. And 2 hours until cold. Yeah, we're not doing all of that. We're gonna burn our hands today. We're gonna burn our hands today. being prepared. Just preparing myself mentally to chop my hands off. Okay, I'm not chopping my hands off. I'm burning my fingertips off. I am joining the men in black, and I will no longer have any fingertips. Fingerprints anyway, because that's what we're going for here today. This says it can take 20 to 30 minutes to boil. It's not. So I'm going to turn this kind of up on a higher heat, and then we'll turn it down here in a little bit. But we don't need to be stirring it, so that's fun and interesting. Giving it some time. Even this is going to heat up the house more than I want it to. I'm going to have to find some recipes, old recipes for baking and pastry stuff, because if it's hot here in the summer, it's going to be hot. We don't need to be running the oven like this. So have a ninja fruity, and it's basically just like a multi-purpose air fryer. It has a saute method. It has baking. Like, there's so much you can do in a ninja fruity. So because I'm gonna try baking in it this summer versus getting a bunch of hot air everywhere. So we'll be bringing some ninja foodie tips on how to bake in an air fryer without heating up your whole house. So alternative baking, that's what we can focus on this summer. Alternative baking. But then we can also do some stuff like pastry cream, which doesn't take a lot of cooking. I know stovetop stuff still adds some heat, but we're not gonna try not to do too much. Made eggs this morning. Apparently I got a little bit out of the pan. Didn't even realize. Probably cheese, really. Okay, so far this is doing a whole bunch of nothing, but I don't expect it to do terribly much to begin with. I really want to stir it though. I am a stirrer. I like to, okay, this is gonna sound really bad. It's like I like to stir pots, but that's not like, I'm not gonna stir the pot and like make drama for everybody. This is like, if there's a stew sitting on the stove, I want to stir it. I worked in a restaurant in the South, and we were constantly making sweet tea. Now, if you haven't made sweet tea before, you basically make iced tea and add a bunch of sugar. But the container that we had, the sugar would settle to the bottom, and it wouldn't mix in nicely. And so I would constantly go by and stir it so that you didn't end up with chunks of sugar in the bottom of the tea. But I'm constantly stirring things. I like to stir. So I just have to chill out on the stirring right now. but that is okay. It's okay. I hear it on the bottom. So I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, a lot of it, because I don't want it to actually burn. I just want it to melt and bubble. All right, what does my candy thermometer say? Because I didn't twist it in here, right? Okay, right now the candy thermometer says 175, which it could probably get close to that, just sitting there at room temperature. Oh, yeah, it's hot. It's hot here. Apparently, we're not connecting to Facebook right now either. Um, I have a notice on here saying that it's not connecting to Facebook very well. So I gotta, Facebook and I are having issues apparently. So, because it was letting me stream to Facebook and now it's just mad at me. So we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. We'll work it out. It'll be happy in the end. Somebody will be happy in the end anyway. Oh, look, it's moving. Can you see it moving? To me, I think it's going to be kind of like a lava lamp. It's going to be like a lava lamp watching it like bubble and move, especially since we have the luster dust in there. Ah, I'm so excited. I'm really, really hoping that the luster dust will make the whole thing really pretty. Because if not, I have other ways of doing it, but I'm like, ooh, the luster dust. I want luster dust. Meow, meow, meow. It's okay. It's gonna be fun. Bum, 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 bum. Like, do you see the little bubbles? It's starting to bubble. This is starting to remind me of the bog of eternal stench. It just bubbles lightly from underneath. Like I can see the bubbles underneath and it doesn't look like they're breaking. They just look like they're coming up and bubbling a little. But they will bubble. We're getting close to 200, so we only have like 60 degrees left. Well, this is also the point where you'd want to get the rest of your things prepared. So if you're going to actually let it cool and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do, then what you would do is get a plastic container and probably not candy coat it. Sugar, nope. Oil coat it. Like on the inside, do like a coating of oil so that it doesn't stick. And then you put this into the plastic container, let it sit for an hour or two, and do all of that fun stuff. Well, I have no intentions of doing all of that. So what I'm going to do is this is going to need to be in cornstarch to pull it. I'm not sure why cornstarch. And like I said, we're not exactly going to be pulling. It's more of a like a squeeze. You squeeze it. We'll go into that. Yeah, I've been researching technique, but like I know the technique to do it. Oh, I might need to go. Okay. It's above 200, so that's a good. Let's see. 267 to 268 or to 276 to 2. But it's bubbling. Or bubbles. We have bubbles. Bubbles, 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 bubbles. Bubbles, 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 bubbles. Bubbles. Go fetch them. Stitch is cool. We like Stitch. I like Stitch anyway. If you don't like Stitch, I don't know what your problem is, but I like Stitch. All right. We're bubbling. Good sign number one. Good sign is we're bubbling. For 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Not too 10. So nothing too crazy, nothing too easy, but 210 seems nice. And I'm hoping now that it's boiling, it will go a lot faster. Boil, 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 boil. Fire burning, cauldron boiling. I do think that for my cornstarch pan, I think I want to use something rectangular. I'm sitting here trying to decide because we have this pretty well actually. We have this circular bowl, so circular plastic bowl. I can put the cornstarch in, make like a little ring, and it could be cool. Or I could do this cake pan, and that would be cool too. But if I got like a big rectangular and oh, I like this better though. Okay, here we have a huge bowl. We're gonna use big bowl. We're gonna use the big bowl because I like that it has good sides and that plastic, so it's not gonna transfer the. Well, it's not gonna like hold on to the heat. Let's see, we're getting close to 250, so let's double check the temperature. We need this to get down to 212. 267, yeah, so not too high from that 250. So, okay, this is 4 or 5 cups of cornstarch. So we're just gonna add some cornstarch to this and then go like add more if we need it. Boiling pretty good. It started boiling. I like it. Double check the temperature on here. Let's see, it's still at 5, 10, 15, about 220. And I do have this kind of on like a medium low because I don't want to caramelize the sugar. We just want it hardened. I'm going to take the back of my spoon here and make like a circle in my cornstarch because like I was saying, I don't plan on doing this the right way. I plan on doing this my way, which is probably going to end badly, especially since most of what I've seen about making this is that it's really hard to make. It's really hard. So, uh, let's try something really hard today because life isn't hard enough already. Let's make it hard. Let me show you my cool little ring mountain real quick. So there's a little mountain there. You can see like I have an edge here, and so they have this ring here that I'm going to pour it into here a little bit later. But first we have to get up the temperature. Temperature first. Temperature is number one. And we're not up to 220 yet. Bubbling though. So we're gonna just let it bubble until we get at least up to 220. We need not 220. Yeah, it's not even up to 220. Oh, dang, we got a little while to go. Holy cow, my bad. I thought we were close to 250. But no, we're at 220. We need 40 more degrees, like 47 degrees. Oh, okay then. It's all right. I'm going to use questionable tactics in order to get things to do what I want them to do. So, we'll see if my questionable tactics work though. But we're off to a good start. It did say it'll take 20 to 30 minutes for it to get up to temperature, so. Whew. All right. We are at 220. It's going up slowly. And this is one of those places where I'm really tempted to turn the heat up. Please don't. If you are making this and you're tempted to turn up the heat, please don't. Because turning up the heat won't make it hotter faster. With this kind of thing, turning up the heat is only going to burn it. It's not going to make it heat faster. What we need to do at this point is we need to evaporate water and condense it. So turning up the heat is just going to make it burn, which is very frustrating. Especially since it's at 220 and it's not helpful. I am turning it up like just a tad. Like it was on 3 and I turned it up to this like 3 1/4. Like I wouldn't really consider that turning it up. Yeah, it's still technically turned up, so. Alright. It's a waiting game. Why did I choose something that was a lot of waiting? I don't know. And why didn't I do one for ahead of time? Because I wasn't thinking, ooh, I smell the vinegar. Like I smell the orange and I smell vinegar. So stuff is evaporating. Stuff is evaporating. I think that's part of the reason why they tell you when you're going to put flavors and stuff like caramel, you add the flavor at the end. Probably. That would make a lot of sense. But here I am, just doing whatever I want. Which is kind of how I cook anyway. And it says it needs it this way. Let me just do it this way and see if it actually works. Yep, that's the way I like to cook. Let's see. Alright. We're still not going up. I don't understand why it's not going up. It's okay. We'll just sit here and relax. I can relax. I know how to relax. Not really. Relaxing and I are not friends. We don't get along very well. All right. So if I can't relax, then let's. I don't know. 'Cause I can't really. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Deep breaths. I guess we're just hanging out. Where we're at, it's still hanging around 220. It's not going up at all. Makes me nervous because it makes me think that I'm doing something wrong and that it's not going to that it's not going to do the right thing. It's not going to actually go up to temperature. I know it will. I know it will. It's one of those things that, like, just give it some time. It'll do what you're looking for. But I'm like, it's not doing it though. Like, it's not there. And so I'm freaking out. Stop freaking out. It'll work. Just chill. But it's all nice and bubbly. It's bubbling nicely. We got nice bubbles. Good bubbles. Nice bubbles. Tiny bubbles. In my world. Makes me happy. Makes me feel fine. We're just tiny bubbling away. Bubble, bubble, boy in trouble, in trouble. This is gonna be one of those things. Like, you're not okay. It's a bad idea to walk away from boiling sugar. Boiling sugar, bad idea to walk away. Don't walk away. But it's at 220, and it's not going up. And I'm getting frustrated. That's okay. The funny thing is, all a bunch of the luster dust has like accumulated around the edges, and there's a bunch of like where it's boiled and splattered on the edges as well. And so I'm half wondering, like, is that gonna mess anything up? I can definitely see where the level of the liquid has gone down too, because the luster dust is like, it was probably only about a quarter of an inch above the mixture. Sitting at 220. It's going up slowly now. Like, the first part went up pretty quick, and now it's still going up. It's just really slow. And I'm just afraid that it's not gonna actually go up. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna pretend it's fine anyway. What is that? It's a comic of a dog and he's sitting in a bar and everything's on fire. It's like, I'm fine, everything's fine. That's what I feel like right now. Everything's fine. It's on fire, but it's fine. Nothing's actually on fire. It's just bubbling away nicely. I'm just, one, being dramatic, and two, being impatient, and three, something else. I don't know. I'm just being anxious. Just being anxious. We're doing okay. We're doing all right. It's like self-soothing. I'm okay. I'm okay. The caramel's just taking its time. Okay. I was trying not to heat up the house too much today, but apparently my caramel has other ideas than what my ideas are. We're about 220. We're getting to 225, but like I said, it's just going slowly. Going ever so slowly. Man. Alright. This is still bubbling. I'm gonna go grab my water out of my bedroom. I'll be 30 seconds. Technically, it's not water, it's Gatorade, but it's also. Let's maybe put some water and some ice in it. Ice, ice, baby, too cold. Yes, we're almost to 250. Right, 225. Holy cow. This is my life now. My life is caramel and sitting here waiting for the caramel to heat up. Here, let me pick something easy that's not going to take too long and heat up the house too much. And then, this is getting hot. It's taking a long time. Boo. Why does my caramel not take this long? I'm also making a soft caramel at that point. I'm not making this. Technically, we're trying to get into like a hard crack stage, so this is going to be more like a hard candy kind of thing. But like we're trying to get up to a hard crack, but that's just not where we are yet. Deep breaths and relax. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It means no worry for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. I don't know. I don't know how to Hakuna Matata. No, I know. I just don't know how much longer this part's gonna take. Like, it's been 45 minutes. And we're still going. Still waiting. We got this bubbling away nicely. And we're still going. We finally reached 225 though. It only took 15 minutes to get from 220 to 225. If that's what it's gonna take to get up to this next part, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Now, I'm hoping it will exponentially get hotter as it boils down into more of the syrup. That's what I'm hoping for. Because we finally reached 225. Reached it. Reached 225. That was a first goal. Now the next goal is 250. Thought we were at 250. That's sad. Why do I never think these things are going to take very long? Like, the instructions are like, this takes a very, very long time. And I'm like, psh, I don't believe you. And then I'm like, why is this taking so long? Crazy girl, crazy girl. That's a country song. Something about you're crazy girl. Mm. Why can't I stir it? I know why I can't stir it. It doesn't want you to stir it because it can get little seed crystals in there and then it gets all crystally, and that's a bad idea. Hmm. 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 Okay. Well, you all here, let's put on some lovely music while you guys go watch this because I'm not being very entertaining. is going a bit faster. I wouldn't say it's going incredibly fast, but faster is still faster. So that is exciting. Been in for close to an hour and we're still doing this. Okay. That's alright. We're getting somewhere, I think. Or at least it's still going, and it's going pretty quickly-ish. At least this part has. I'm gonna pause the background music for now. So it's bubbling away, but it's just taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. A lot longer, actually. I was expecting 20 to 30 minutes for the for it to get it up to temperature. But it's taking like an hour, and maybe I just have this on like a low enough temperature that it's just taking super extra long. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's taking so long, but I'm just doing what I can to not freak out because I hate when things don't go according to plan. And things never go according to plan for me, but we got lots and lots of bubbles. It's looking good. The bubbles are looking good. It's now like half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch below the line that it set from where it started. Now the bubbles go up to that line, but oh, we're getting up to 240. So now we have about 20 degrees left to go. That is getting exciting. That is definitely getting exciting because it's getting there. It's getting there. Woo! Getting somewhere anyway. So I'm excited that it's almost up to temperature. Now it says lots of things in order to get it. It says wait a lot of time. I'm not good with waiting. That's why if things usually require waiting, it's like, okay, we're going to do that on another day because I'm not going to sit around and wait all day for it to find itself. Apparently today is a lot of waiting. You know what? That's okay. I am practicing patience. That's what I'm doing today. I'm practicing patience. On today's episode of Baking with Jen, we practice our ability to be patient when we don't want to be. When everything is frustrating because it's taking longer than planned, we practice patience. Reminds me of Inigo Montoya. You're just gonna have to wait. I hate waiting. Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you just have to wait. It gets very frustrating. My kids know. My kids hate waiting too. Alright, then where are we? Ooh! But see, it is okay, so really fast to begin with. Stalled out really slow. Speed back up. That makes me happy. Now I'm happy. Raindrops on roses and whiskers and kittens. Bright copper kettles and woolen mittens. The round paper packages tied up the string. These are a few of my favorite things. Rose and white dresses with blue satin sashes. Snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes. Silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. Now I can think about a schnitzel with noodles. I don't think I've ever had schnitzel with noodles though. Interesting. Hold on. See, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles. That's part of the favorite things. I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. So annoyed. Alright. We're at 250. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is definitely getting there. We're close. We're getting close. And this is going to take us to the hard crack stage. So that's also one of those things, like that you do want this as a hard crack. No soft crack, hard crack. Oh man. I have too much humor. We don't need none of that soft crack. We want the hard crack. Stuff that tingles your toes. Over the river and through the woods, to grandma's house we go. The horse knows a way to carry the sleigh through ice and drift and snow. Over the river and through the woods, oh, how the wind blows. Sings the blues and bites the noses, over the hill we go. We want nose biting crack. We don't want. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just being silly and saying random stuff. But it's one of those. So earlier, technically, like I went to go grab my water. It was okay to step away for 2 minutes. It's okay, 30 seconds, but whatever. Right now, we're at 255. We got 10 degrees left. Don't step away. Friends, don't let friends walk away from hot caramel. Basically, hot caramel. Don't walk away. I'm going to do a lot of things I shouldn't here in the next few minutes, but that's okay. Dancing naked in Tijuana. One of the things you shouldn't do. Good thing I'm not in Tijuana. Or naked. Like, neither of those things are applicable at the moment, so. Whew. That was a close one. Just being patient. Patience is key here. Make sure to type in the right patient code or you get the bad address. And my brain is not right today. My brain is just everywhere. It's like it needs a friend. So I'm just making it my own brain friends. Friend brains, brain friends. I don't know. But we're at 60. Oh, we're getting close. 50, 55, 60, 65. Actually, at this point, I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to give this about another 30 seconds. I'm done. And questionable things are. So, a bowl of water. I'm putting some ice in it. I want this water as cold as I can get it. Okay, we are at temperature, so I'm just going to take it off of the heat and give it a second to let it stop boiling. I took it off the heat and it almost immediately stopped boiling. Bubbles are stalling. Okay. Remember, this is a bad idea. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get some of the heat out of the pan in hopes that it will get some of the heat out of the caramel and bring this temperature down a lot faster than the 30 minutes it was projecting. So we have ice water in a bowl. Do not put the pan on the bottom of the bowl. Don't shake up the pan too much. Just gentle, sitting gently. Just holding it like this. This is the questionable thing I'm doing. I don't think you're supposed to do this kind of thing because one, it doesn't let it cool down evenly. Two, by jostling the pan, you can get some of the sugar crystals in it. And then three, it's supposed to like keep going up and then start coming down. Oh, it's not helpful for you to try to look at that while I'm looking at it. It started coming down already. So, now, next questionable step. What are we gonna do? Come over here. Remember the nice little well I poured? I love the caramel here. Pour it into our cornstarch well. Like I said, I am fairly certain that this is a bad idea. Don't be me. Don't follow my bad ideas. Unless this works. If this works, follow my bad ideas. If this doesn't work, don't follow it. We'll see how much of a bad idea this is though. But look, I love this orange color. It's a really pretty orange color. Oh, look at that. It's trying to run away. I think part of the problem is I didn't have the cornstarch like level in here. So part of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hold the bowl in a way that will like make this ring level without over pouring my mold. don't know if that's possible. I don't over pour on the outside. Come to the inside. Come to the inside. I don't think it likes it. No, 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 no. See those couple spots that are trying to run away? I don't want them to. Oop, this is getting goopy. Getting goopy. This is probably going to stick to the inside of this bowl. That makes me sad. Alright, I'm done pouring that. I just don't want to pour it anymore. See what kind of fun we get out of that. I'm putting the pan in the cold bowl, cold water, just get it out of my way. And then I think this technically needs to sit like this. But there we go. I put a thing under one side. Now we have it all around. So that feels warm. I'm going to take cornstarch and just kind of put it over the top of everything. We're coating it in cornstarch. I don't know why you're supposed to use cornstarch versus like powdered sugar for this one. If you're gonna do it with chewy candy microwave, then you want powdered sugar. But for this version, it uses cornstarch. That's still really good. I'm gonna hurt myself if I do this, aren't I? Why am I trying to hurt myself? I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm not trying. That's just the conclusion. That's just what's probably going to happen because of bad decisions. Yeah, let's do very liquid. Okay, how do we make the liquid less liquid? Oh, we have our lovely pan, so that looks good. It's definitely firming here. Yeah, that's firm. Here, let me take this and put it somewhere cold. That's going to end badly for me because I tried to set it flat and I'm pretty sure it just went sideways in there. That's okay. So over here, let's see if I can pull any of this out. I don't think I can. Ooh. Like it'll wash out definitely, but I was trying to like get a taste for this and see what kind of candy we're looking at here. Like, does this have a flavor? Like I put a flavor in it, but does it have a flavor? I think you're supposed to put the flavor in the molten candy after it's molten. Like this is the part where you would put the flavor in right now. Like last bit. Look, I got a little bit of candy and it's like thready, which is kind of what, see, this is like the texture you want the candy when you're doing the dragon's beard. You want it where it's like stretchy like this. So you can, like this isn't going to turn into dragon's beard because it's sticky and it's sticking back on itself. That's why you have the powdered sugar, the cornstarch, because it keeps these as individual strings. Let me try this real quick. Oh, it's very sticky. I'm not sure. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. That right there is just sugar flavor. was hoping putting that sugar in there would make it, or the flavor in there would make it. Okay, that did not work. It all poured to one side. My shortcuts aren't working. Okay. I want to start playing with it. I want to play with it. I feel like I play with that part. I wonder if I'm mixing the cornstarch into it too much. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like corn syrup. Does anybody else watch that Australian chick who does the candy videos? Like her family's had a candy shop forever, and they're always making like the hard candies with like the different pictures. That makes me believe I can do it now. But you also see they're wearing like heat resistant gloves, and I'm wearing bare hands. Ooh, that would probably be a bad idea for this, but those like bare hand gloves, bare gloves. Oh man, yeah, I'm just mixing the cornstarch in at this point. This is gonna end badly if I keep going, but I can't leave it alone. So this is just gonna end badly. Well, at least it's not sticking to the sides at the moment anyway. It's all coated in cornstarch. It's not sticking to anything. But it's also not forming a ring like I want it to either. See? Get the warm candy. You stretch it out. And you fold it. And you stretch it. And you fold it. And you squeeze it to like elongate it and stretch it. Fold it. Squeeze to elongate and stretch it. Fold it. And squeeze to elongate and stretch it. This is the basic idea that you're doing. Technically, you're not squeezing, but I think doing this is making me incorporate the cornstarch. Let me try this part, this little piece I have. Yeah, it actually kind of tastes like ramen. It's not what I wanted. Okay. Still need this to harden up a little bit. We have a little bit of time. Let's see. Why is it that Asian candies are so cute and like fun to make, but they're so labor intensive? Like, I was looking up how to make mochi. Mochi, like, that's so hard. You have to like beat the heck out of rice. Take rice, beat the heck out of it, and then you beat the heck out of it, and you beat the heck out of it, and you beat the heck out of it. Like, dang. Like, you make mochi when your ex cheats on you. Like,
Somebody cheats on you, you make mochi. You beat the living daylights out of it. Oh man. You make boba when you're bored and you want to sit and play with Play-Doh for 2 hours. I don't know when you're making dragon candy yet. I haven't finished making it, but it's really hot. It's really hot. Oh, at least it's cool down in the house now that I turned the stove off. Hmm. Like this part over here seems semi-workable. This part over here is not. Yeah, like I can almost pick that up. Almost. This over here I can't pick up at all. Like, this is like strands of lava, strands of lava, strands of lava. And then like over here is where the volcano is. Also, yeah, we're not touching the volcano. No volcano touching. I want to. I can't leave things alone. Oh goodness. Yeah. Ask anybody who knows me. I can't just like leave it alone. Stop fiddling with it. What? No. This is still very warm. But look, I can touch it. So it's not like too warm. Look at my hand. I think over here it's just a lot thinner. And like all of it's over here. So it's all in one spot. Can we spread it out? I'm about to make a mistake. I am about to make a huge mistake. This is where everybody should yell at me, but I can't hear you. So I'm just gonna make my huge mistake. This is my huge mistake. It's got water on it, which I think is gonna be a bad idea. I'm trying to dry it up, but alright, what are we doing? We're ending things up. So this mat, this I've been in the freezer till morning with cake pops on it, but cake pops out. So I haven't fully washed it. I just kind of rinsed off the cake juice. This is why it's a bad idea. But I need to take all of this candy stuff out of here and put it in it. Coach, like I said, I'm making mistakes. I am 99.97% sure I am making mistakes. So, don't be like me. Don't do this. So, what am I doing? I'm playing with it. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need all this cornstarch into here because I want it to cool down. And I know that moving sugar around cools it down faster. Now, if I had put it on here without the cornstarch, it probably wouldn't be such a big deal. But I have a feeling that because it has the cornstarch, that like kneading this is like just kneading the cornstarch in. And I don't think that's what we're wanting to do, but It's what I'm doing because I don't have patience. Seeing sticky. I think it's got sticky edges, which is sugar, so I expect it to be sticky. All right. It's sticking. We're gonna make this a little bit of a circle, and I'm going to put this in. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Flavor now. That seems like a bad idea as well, but a couple drops of flavor, and then we're gonna just leave this a little bit and see if we can kind of mix that flavor in. I don't think I'll be able to, but hey, you never know unless you try, right? It's sticking to me, but it's basically caramel, and caramel doesn't stick, then usually means there's an issue. Caramel is just melted sugar, which this is melted sugar too. Oh no. Oh look, it's all fluid. Fluid, 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 fluid. This actually really feels like a warm, like sweet tart right now. It feels like a warm sweet tart. I think that part of the reason why it's supposed to cool down is so that it's not super sticky like this. I think technically it would be super sticky anyway. But I think that's part of the reason why it's supposed to cool down into more of a solid than this. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more flavor. We're just gonna orange flavor it until I think it has flavor. Oh, I think I should also put the luster dust on here. Let me envelope this or with orange flavor. There we go. Well, my fingers. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit more of this luster dust. See if we can make it orange and sparkly. That is the idea. Orange and sparkly. Alright. It is getting a lot more manageable. It's still very kind of fluidy, and it, like I said, it reminds me of like melted starbursts, especially with this color. Like if you mix the orange and pink and red together, you can get. And if you hit the camera, you can get a color kind of like this. Cool. This is going to be me failing at making Japanese beer candy because I can't let things be and just follow directions. Like I want to try something fun and interesting and new. But we'll see how it goes. This is supposed to take a long time, and I gotta go get my kids in an hour. So, oh, now it's sticking to me. There it goes. I got to let go. Let's see. We're still mixing. I'm trying to see if I can see that luster dust come through. Made like a pocket of it in the middle. So it's sticking to me like crazy. Things just like to stick to the edge of my hand. Like the middle of my hand is like whatever. The edge of my hand is like, hey, let's stick there. Maybe it's like a more moist part of my hand and it's sticking to the moisture. I don't know. I do have to be careful not to get this in my ring though, because it will be there forever and ever. Actually, no, it won't. It's just sugar candy. It'll be fine. It'll wash out. If I could just get it to let go of me. Okay, so maybe this wasn't as bad of an idea as I was thinking. If I could just get it to let go of my hands. Right. Ah, there it goes. Got it to let go. Alright, so we're gonna put a little bit more luster dust on here. I am obsessed with this idea of like making this super like luster dusty. I need to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay. It's like, Jen, you have enough. Stop. So now I'm just folding this all together. I need to call my grandma. Fold, 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 fold. Now it's sticking my ring. Take my ring off. Yes, I can today. Yay. If I'm swollen, I can't take my ring off. It doesn't happen. Look, I can use the mat. Squish it. Roll, 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 roll. I wonder if because I know that when toffee's different. I made toffee before. We should make it again. Everyone in my house said I should make it again. Like that day, we ate it all in like one day. But anyway, when you pull taffy, it's supposed to be about this temperature. Actually, temperature, texture. I think I'm going. We'll see if I end up making taffy today, or if I end up making dragon's beard candy like I wanted to. At least next time, if I end up making dragon's beard candy again, what I can do, because we already went through and did the boiling part, is I can do the first part and set it aside, and then be like, hey, this is the pulling of the dragon's beard candy. It's if we can't get it to pull today. Like, this is fairly sticky, and it's doing okay so far. It's almost, it's really sticky, and it's still really warm. I'm trying to get some of the heat to dissipate out. That's why I'm playing with it, actually. I'm wondering at this point, because of how much I'm playing with it, if I should really just do it in powdered sugar, or if cornstarch is still the one. Well, we're going to do cornstarch, and it's feeling a lot more solid, so what I'm going to do is aside, and so the way that this is supposed to be done, we'll see if it works with what I'm doing. Coat it really well. That's why it says like 4 or 5 cups of cornstarch. Then you make a hole. And this is supposed to be like a hard candy at this point, but right now this is still soft. And then you squeeze, and that makes it kind of stretch out. And you kind of want to get it like even, and you can twist it. And you want to keep these coated so that they don't stick together, is the idea. And I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I'm probably doing it wrong. And then you're not really like stretching. You also want to be careful. This is already making a mess. And like coat and stretch and coat and turn and coat. And you just kind of run it through your hands. And oh my goodness, some of these strands are, I think it's part of it because I think it's too warm. Um, it's too warm for what it's supposed to be, but it's stretching nicely. Stretching nicely for what I'm doing. Oh goodness, maybe powdered sugar would have been better at this point. But it's just like all falling everywhere. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Okay, it's not doing terrible. It's doing technically what it's supposed to be doing. I'm just not able to keep it together. Oh man, and I think it's because it's too warm. I didn't let it cool down the way it was supposed to. Which, okay, okay, I didn't let you cool down right. And it's like liquid in my hand. This is so much. This is so much. And it's like everybody that I saw was like, it's so hard and it's just not doing the right thing. Okay, this isn't doing the right thing either, but I think it's because mine is too soft. But look, you can see it's starting to strand up already, which it's supposed to be these like airy strands. So we're getting there. We're getting there really quickly. Let me drop all the really big stuff and see if I can just keep up with the little strands as it's going. Because holy cow, I might have done too much at once. I might be doing too much. I don't know. But it seems to be kind of doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just really warm and soft, so it's just like stretching super fast. Um, but it's stranding up and getting that like nice and stretchy and like it's supposed to. Like the way that everybody says that it's supposed to, it's doing it. So I'm not necessarily considering this a failure. It's just maybe not as success in the same rate that it's supposed to be. Like it's not doing what it's like not it's not being what it's supposed to be, but who's gonna I don't care if it's doing what it's supposed to or not. But look, it's we're getting all the fun strands and it's stretching out nicely. So I'm just gonna keep coating it, and some of the parts where it feels like it's tough and getting harder, I'm just gonna stretch those out more because I think that's like one of the things in the beginning is that people just have a hard time getting it going, and so it ends up breaking. But it's supposed to be all these like lovely sugar strands, like 1,000,012 sugar strands is like what you're supposed to do. And we're getting strands. It's getting strandy. So I'm not sure. I'm 99.9% wrong. Sure, I'm doing this part wrong. Um, but it seems to be working-ish. So if it's kind of working out, then I'm not sure how wrong I am. But it's supposed to be all these like strandy things. Now you're not supposed to have like these big chunks like I have. It's supposed to be all stretched out. And I think where I'm going wrong is from doing it too fast, is that I'm going to end up with like thick spots instead of being able to kind of make it all even and strandy all the way around. Like I'm just going to end up with like really thick spots that um, didn't get to pull as evenly as some of the other spots because it was just like melting and falling and not able to strand out correctly. Oh man, but this is fun. This is fun. I'm also not sure if the cornstarch is the right answer here or if it should be more like powdered sugar. But look, I got some nice fine strands right here. I'm gonna go ahead and try the fine strands. Okay, that's still a little chewy. You know what? think I'll redo the sugar on another day. And have my kids help me pull it. I think they'll have a lot of fun. Alright, let's get some. I got this other strandy bit. I had a lot of like little strands. So, but this also has some like thick strands and some thin strands. I'm trying to. Yep. So I'm gonna consider this a half win, half fail because I was impatient on this last part and I did this part wrong. But I think it would have turned out good if I had been patient. If I had actually like oiled the bowl and put it in the way I was supposed to. But like it's pulling nicely. Like it's pulling nicely, and I got myself some little candy threads. It tastes okay. Like look, here, we're gonna take this and take this little ring. I'm gonna squish it. And see, even this, it gets like some thick parts and some thin parts, and it's not quite even. So we'll twist it. And see, it's breaking anyway. Like everyone I see, theirs breaks. So, but it's doing the same thing I've seen other dragon candy do. So, which is funny because like this bottom part is getting like super thin just fine. But then there's some of these like thicker chunks, and I'm like, I just want to pull these like thin and straight, and they're just not pulling the way I want them to. But anyway, because you can see like all of this is like thick and chunky, and then we have all this other not so thick area. I mean, kind of get this a little powdery so it's not sticking together so much. That's one of those things is like you don't want this to stick together. You want it to be really coated and stuff. And I think that's one of those main things is like keep it coated and keep the pieces good. All right, this is going to be an interesting endeavor, but so I think I'll be able to stretch out like the pieces that I have and just like stretch and stretch and stretch. Let's see if these will separate it off. Kind of. This is still seeming very thick. It's not keep getting airy, but part of that's because I didn't quite do it right, but it's stringing up the way it's supposed to. So that is cool. I did part of it right. I was impatient and I didn't wait for it to pull enough. But we now have this very interesting string candy. Let me see about having my kids play with this a little bit later. So for the moment, this is a mess. A big, fluffy, stringy mess. And part of what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to coat everything. Some of these bigger parts. I'm just going to see if I can kind of stretch them out a little bit more. So apparently the luster dust didn't do anything, which that's fine. So I was just trying to see if I could get it luster dusty. Getting it luster dusty is not helpful for dragon beard candy apparently because there's so much starch on it you can't really see the candy itself. Now maybe if I had put it in the cornstarch or powdered sugar if we do it a different way, but yeah, but it's stretching out nicely. It's fun. I think this is going to be one of those like candies that you play with more. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have this be for with my kids later. We're gonna have them come home and play with us and see about like stretching it out and getting it to be all beardy. This part I didn't coat it well enough. Okay, but getting everything coated. Then I have like a chunk here. It's chunky. See if we can kind of get it to kind of stretch. It's kind of like taffy pulling, just more powdery, more stringy, and more messy. Oh goodness. Okay, okay. It's like working, but it's also really weird. Powder. Let's see if we can stretch this part out. Get it all stretched out. Big stretchy mess. Get it. Some like where I'm pulling it, I can definitely feel it. Like it's thicker, it's harder, it's sticking together. And I'm just trying to get some of these thicker, harder spots to be more stretched out and flaky. I also wonder if like working with this in kind of smaller chunks, like I'm doing right now, I wonder if that helps. Or if I'm like just making everything terrible. It's string candy. This is a lot of fun to play with, at least. It reminds me of like with cornstarch and water, except it's cornstarch and um basically candy because it's just like hardened sugar syrup. And it just pulls apart. And I'm trying not to like squish this too much together so that it just gets kind of stringy, airy is the goal. So I think I'm pushing it too much together. Let's see if we can kind of aerate it a little bit more and just pull on it. Just gonna lightly hold it and pull on it and see if we can get some of these strands to be more strand-like strands. This is supposed to be kind of like hair. Right now it really reminds me of hair. It reminds me of like toddler bedhead. Okay, so instead of dragon beard, we got toddler bedhead candy. It's a little chewy, a little fluffy. This is very fun, at least. Yeah, so like I have this chunk, but you can definitely see where this chunk was strandy. And it's just not being as strandy as it was. But I let it stick together. Let me see, I'm like squeezing. It makes the circle. It makes the circle bigger. Twist and squeeze. The circle's getting bigger. Then you have these places where it's a little bit weaker because it's the place where it's actually like stretching. And it's hard to get it stretched all over just right. But It's getting nice and stringy, so that's cool. But like all of it's up here. Oh, can I stretch? Stretch. Stretch. And I'm just like using gentle pressure on here too. I'm just ripping this in half. I just feel like some of these places are kind of chunking up, and I don't know if that's because it just doesn't have enough powder. Straight over. Powder it. Get more powder. Maybe it's sticking together too much. I don't know. I haven't made this before. I know I'm doing it wrong. I know that much. Like, I didn't follow the instructions. I'm doing it wrong. But I think that it's actually turning out okay. Because like, as I pull it, in a lot of places now, there's like right here, I can feel it's chunking up. Right there's all chunky, right here's all chunky. Let's see if we can pull the chunks a little bit thinner. But so far, and this was a chunk a few minutes ago. Like a few minutes ago, this was a chunk. And now we got all these strings. Oh. So it's not the fluffy candy that I was expecting, but this is still fun. This is still cool. I'm gonna have the kids play with it and see if they want to eat it. And if they don't, then this will just be a fun toy for now. And then we'll see about actually making it as cotton candy on another time. This is really cool. Really cool. Just try it anyway. And this is why most creators don't do what I do. They they don't show you making these mistakes when they make these mistakes. They just make these mistakes off camera, figure out how to not make these mistakes, and then on camera, they show you how to do it right. Well, I want to show you what happens when you get overzealous, you don't let your sugar cool, and you try to stretch your candy before it's ready. You get chunky candy, and it's really hard to get it down into appropriate strings because it didn't start off the right texture. But I think we got dragon's beard. I think it's a cool dragon's beard, anyway. All right. Well, this is fun and it's tasty and it's fun to eat and fun to play with. So maybe on another day I'll actually do this right for you guys. But for today, this is fun. It took a lot longer on the stove than I was expecting, so that's something to keep in mind for next time. Also, apparently it is very important that you let it cool. I didn't do that, and now we're not necessarily in a bad place, but this is just not the end results that we were looking for. These are not the droids you were looking for. These are similar droids that are still fun and useful and entertaining. They're just not the ones we're looking for. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out. Well, I did questionable things with sugar. I hope you all have a good day. And if you try this out, have fun. Like follow the directions, but have fun. And I will see you on Thursday. We'll see if we can actually come up with something and not light the house on fire from having it be too hot. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on Thursday.